Hi, my name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel, and welcome to another Halloweekend slash haunted library life slash reading vlog. I don't know. This is a mashup of a bunch of different things. This is the second time that I am doing this type of vlog. If you missed the first one, I will have that linked down below. But basically, what I'm doing, I am participating in Books with Lexi's Halloweekend Readathon, which is a readathon that she's been hosting throughout the entire month of October, taking place on the weekends in October. So it's kind of like a 72-hour weekend readathon every week. She has this fun game board to go along with it where we are investigating a haunted house. All of her details will be linked down below if you are interested. I think there's only, at the time you're seeing this, there's only one more weekend left, but if you are curious about how that readathon works and you want to check out her channel, that will be linked down below. And then I personally have been co-hosting the Haunted Library Bingo Challenge with Brianna from Brianna's Bookshelf and Brooklyn from Brooklyn's Library this month. This is a month-long bingo challenge. There is activity prompts and reading prompts, and we all did a buddy read of Salem's Lot together. So I am trying to black out my bingo board in this video. So it's like doing reading challenges and reading and then doing other fall Halloween sort of activities basically is the idea of this vlog. But without further ado, I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys get into it. Hello, I'm in my robe, sitting at the computer to start this vlog. So first off, we are going to do a bingo board check-in, and then I am going to pick my first read for Halloweekend, which does begin tomorrow. So this is where my bingo board is at right now. I am currently reading Salem's Lot. I'm like 230 pages into that. So once I finish that, obviously I'm going to be able to cover up the Read Salem's Lot square and then also read a buddy read a book square. Make a spooky craft. I'm actually going to cover that up right now because I did do I actually did Halloween coloring, and then I did do a jack-o'-lantern craft. And listen, I did do these things at work with some lovely old ladies that have dementia, but it still counts because I still did them. However, I did not think to take a picture of anything that I did. I colored a little Halloween sheet and I gave it to one of the ladies. So when I go back to work, if she still has it, I'll try to sneak a picture so that I could pop it up as proof that I did color something that was Halloween related. Anyways, so now I have that square covered. Surprisingly, I still don't have a bingo though, which is so weird. Next, listen to a spooky podcast. I keep forgetting about this one. I really need to do it. It's just I like to listen to audiobooks. I'm not really a podcast girl. I've dabbled, okay? There have definitely been moments where I listen to podcasts, but not normally. Okay, so that's something I have to work on. Watch a movie or a show with vampires I still need to do. I honestly have nothing in mind. Maybe I'll just end up rewatching Twilight. Not really sure. Carve a pumpkin. Unfortunately, this is the one that I think I might not complete because it's already so late. I feel in the month, this weekend, we are busy. We are going to 2 different Halloween parties, and then I'm also doing some YouTube stuff, and then we have our live show. So I don't think I'm gonna have time to carve a pumpkin this weekend. Originally, the plan was to carve a pumpkin Halloween night, which maybe is a little bit silly because then I have a jack-o'-lantern and Halloween is over, but we're gonna have a cozy Halloween night in anyways, so that sounded fun. But then I realized I'm going on a trip for 10 days starting November 4th, and I don't want to come home to a rotting pumpkin at my apartment. So I honestly don't know if I will be getting that one checked off. Watch a Halloween movie. I still need to do, I talked about it in the last vlog, the Halloween movies that I do want to watch, which I will probably do within the next week or so. And then the last one in the bottom row is to post your current read, which is an easy one. I can do that. So I think I'll get Salem's Lot and take a cutesy little picture of that, and then I can post it on Instagram, and then it's kind of advertising for the live show. So that will be the next thing that I'm working on as far as the bingo board. Taking a picture of Salem's Lot, reading Salem's Lot, and then that will check off 3 more of the squares, and then I need to do a vampire movie, a Halloween movie, and a spooky podcast. Trick or Treat doesn't have vampires in it, does it? No, it's werewolves. There's a fake vampire in Trick or Treat. Okay, anyways, that's where I am with the bingo board. Now I'm going to go over to my Halloweekend board. So where I left off in the last one, my plan is to go through the green room. I want to hit the ghost and then just exit through that door. Just because this is the only other weekend that I will be participating in Halloweekend. So let me see what the green room is. Green is dark, so that could be the cover color, it could be dark content, or my feelings on the book before starting, any way that I can make the word dark work. So this is good because like the number 1 book that I would like to pick up is Children of the Dark by Jonathan Janz, and like, hello, dark is in the title. I also have 2 audiobooks checked out on Libby that I do need to get to at some point, and then I also have a few books on Kindle Unlimited that are like Halloween books that I would like to read, so if I can do any of those. I'm not gonna go too crazy though. I will probably just pick like 1 book to read, unless I end up getting an audiobook. Then I could do an audiobook and a physical, because like I said, I do have kind of a busy weekend, so I don't know how much reading I will be getting done, but let's just go ahead and get into it. Should I do 1 dice or 2? I'm gonna do 2 so that maybe I will be able to just like do it all in 1 roll. Okay, so I have 2 dice in my dice roller, so let's hit roll and we'll see what happens. Okay, 4 and 3, so I got 7. So going back to my cutesy little skeleton guy, this is where we left off. So this is gonna be 1. Oh wait. Should I plan this out first to hit the ghost? Maybe we'll go this way. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 brings us to the ghost. So the prompt for the ghost for the green living room is to read a book that you can spell magic on the cover, or do an anticipated fall activity. Okay, a book that I can spell magic on the cover. I think for this one, I'm just gonna choose to do the activity prompt, which is to do an anticipated fall activity, because I can tie that in with the bingo and maybe like watch a Halloween movie or something, because that's always anticipated for me at this time of year. So I'm just gonna plan for that. So let's move the 2 remaining squares, which actually does put us right at the exit door. And let's see what the prompt is for that. So this is number 6 and number 7. So that correlates to number 19. And number 19 for this one is to read a book you've been putting off or share your TBR. This is tricky because obviously like a book you've been putting off is like a book that you've been putting off reading because like of whatever reasons, you know, you don't want to read it right away. But like technically this is a book I've been putting off because I didn't want to read it earlier in the month. I wanted to read it later in the month, so I could read this one. I'm also considering doing The Lords of Salem, which is by Rob Zombie with B.K. Evanson, because then I could read the book and rewatch the movie, and then the movie could count as my like anticipated fall activity. But I don't know, it's like I'm struggling right now to like commit to one of these, because like I said, I have to finish Salem Slot, and then I just have a busy weekend. This one is 326 pages. I've seen the movie multiple times, so like I know what the story is, because I'm pretty sure the book was written after the movie. This one's 392 pages. It does not look like it's that long. Okay, I think I have decided to just go ahead with The Lords of Salem, because this is the shorter one of the 2. Like I said, it's also a story that I know, so I feel like I won't have to think too hard about like what's going on, because I already know like what happens in the book, and what, you know, the metaphors are and what the deeper message is. But also this definitely fits into the dark category because it does deal with dark topics. I'll give you guys the synopsis. Let's do the back of the book synopsis. Heidi Hawthorne is a 37-year-old FM radio DJ and a recovering drug addict. Struggling with her newfound sobriety and creeping depression, Heidi suddenly receives an anonymous gift at the station, a mysteriously shaped wooden box branded with a strange symbol. Inside the box is a promotional record for a band that identifies itself only as the Lords. There is no other information. She decides to play it on the radio show as a joke, and the moment she does, horrible things begin to happen. The strange music unleashes something evil in the town. Soon enough, terrifying murders begin to happen all around Heidi. Who are the Lords? What do they want? Now, as old bloodlines are awakened and the bodies start to pile up, only one thing seems certain. All hell is about to break loose. So this does deal with witchcraft, elements of the occult. It's also like a very character focused story. So I think that's what I'm gonna go with for Halloweekend. And then, like I said, possibly watch the movie, and then that could count as my fall activity. So with all of that being said, everything has been determined. Let me get to reading. Hello. I know it's the worst when I hold the camera because I feel like I'm so shaky because this camera is heavy. Anyways, this is just a quick update. I did start a spooky podcast this morning. I think it was Brooklyn or like somebody mentioned it. The podcast Parks After Dark or National Parks After Dark. So I found an episode of that and I started it this morning when I was getting ready for work. I started the episode that's called The Valley Killings, I think, and I got almost 30 minutes into that and I have like an hour left, but I figured it was perfect because I was planning tonight to do my nails anyways. I have some of these like press-on nails left over from like a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to do them tonight, so now I can listen to the podcast while I do them. So I'm gonna do that. That is my quick little update on making progress on the bingo board. So I'll see you guys later with some new nails. Hello, we are getting ready to go to Halloween party number 1 for this weekend. Yes, I did do my nails. It did not take me as long as I expected, so I ended up finishing the podcast episode this morning. I'm not really a podcast listener, so I don't know like how I would review it. I enjoyed it. I think it was an interesting case that they covered, and I think they covered it in a respectful way, and then also gave background to like the national park, because it took place in Australia. It took place in yeah, no, I can say that even if it's a real event. I'm like speaking in book terms. The event happened in Australia in Alpine National Park, I believe is what it was called, and I feel like they started out giving some intro on that park and the indigenous people that are native to that land, and so I really liked that they pointed that out, and then even with the case and referring to the victims and everything, I think they did it respectfully. I would listen to them again, but I'm not really a podcast girly. If you do listen to that podcast and you have like an episode that you really like, let me know down below. Anyways, I am going to make this quick because like I said, we are about to go, but let me see if I can show you like the whole thing. I don't have the tripod right now, so give me a second. Can you tell what I am? I have this green little tutu dress, and ignore the stomp box. I'm an alien. I have these little fishnets that have like stars on them. I don't know if you can really see, but I think they're cute. Anyway, that is the fit for tonight. I'm gonna take these off of my head because they mess up my hair. Also, it was so difficult to do this. I don't know what the back looks like. My boyfriend parted the back for me, so if it looks bad, that's his fault, but you know, I appreciate him anyways because it probably looks better than I could do it myself. Okay, I'm gonna go. I will see you guys later. So, it turns out I will definitely be extending my Halloweekend reading this weekend because it's already Sunday night and the weekend readathon would be ending at this time, but the rules do say like it's flexible, you can extend it into the week, and I'm definitely going to need to do that because I have not even started the Lords of Salem yet. We went to 2 Halloween parties. I know I did a clip before the first one. The second one, I forgot to take a video to update the vlog with my costume on, but that I was Satan and my boyfriend was Jesus for that one, so I'll put a picture in. But yeah, we went to one on Friday night and then one yesterday night, Saturday night, and we spent the night at our friend's place before coming back today. And then I was finishing Salem's Lot today because we just had our live show about the book, which you can watch if you're interested in seeing our thoughts. So I have not started the Lords of Salem. That will be my next read, but I figured why not use this time to just check in with the bingo again, because like I said, I just finished this. So that means I get to cover up quite a few more spots. So first of all, since I already talked to you guys about the podcast, I'm going to cover up the podcast square. And then I also get to cover up the square that says to read Salem's Lot and to buddy read a book. So now, a round of applause, everybody, because I have 2 bingos on my board. Actually, I have 3 bingos on there. 4 bingos, actually. Because there's the 2 top rows and then cross one way, cross the other way. Watch a movie or show with vampires. Brooklyn, Brianna, and I just established that we are going to be watching Salem's Lot together on Wednesday. So that's perfect. That checks that off. Carve a pumpkin we're ignoring. Watch a Halloween movie. Oh, and post your current read. I did do. So I just have 2 more squares left to complete, which both involve watching movies. So I can kind of chill and take it easy with the bingo, which I'm very, very happy for, and work on my next read, watch some movies, and hopefully have more exciting things for this vlog. I am back with a book update because I am not quite halfway, but almost halfway now through, sorry, the cat is doing something over here, through the Lords of Salem, and I'm not really sure how I'm feeling just yet because I'm enjoying it now that the story is picking up a little bit, but it did take me a while to feel this enjoyment because I'm just not really sure how I'm vibing with the way that this was written. Obviously, like, Rob Zombie, first of all, let me start off by saying, like, I'm a Rob Zombie fan, have been for a long time, like, grew up watching Rob Zombie movies, listening to his music, so I know what he does and I like what he does, but he's not an author, you know what I mean? Not a novelist, I guess I should say. So obviously this is written in collaboration with B.K. Evanson, which is Brian Evanson, who I've read 1 book from, and in my head, like, this collab definitely makes sense. Like, I could see their 2 styles coming together, but it definitely has, like, the writing style where it's, like, very much telling you instead of showing you what's going on, and maybe that has to do with Rob Zombie, like, writing films. What are those, like, screenplays? Wait, is that what they're called? Anyways, so maybe, like, that definitely kind of comes into play with it. I'm not really sure, but there have been a few points where I was like, I'm not really vibing with the writing. I don't know, there's just been a few things that feel, like, awkward, and the way that it's written is keeping me a little bit disconnected from the story, but it is picking up and I'm really, really interested in it. I really liked the last chapter that I just read. I feel like there were definitely some good horror moments in there. I know I gave you guys the back of the book synopsis of this, but this is about a woman. First of all, the book starts off with being in Salem, Massachusetts in the 1600s during the Salem witch trials, and we get like a good 5 or 6 chapters in that time period, and then it switches to Salem in the current day, which is where we are following Heidi, who works on a radio show, and one day she gets this box shows up that is addressed personally to her, and it's like a very weird kind of antique looking wooden box with a strange symbol on it, and inside is a vinyl record, and she plays it and then eventually ends up playing it on the air, which is like the last chapter that I just read, and it seems like everybody has a very visceral response to the music, if that's what you want to call it, that is on this record, but it seems to be pretty split. Like the women are obsessed with it and love it, and the men hate it and feel such like a deep, profound hatred for it. Like it's very either love or hate, and it seems to be based off of your gender. This is very clearly, obviously, about witchcraft and the witch trials. There's also like a demonic presence that is in here. I don't really know what to say. For the story, I'm enjoying it and I'm invested. It just took me a while to maybe adjust to the way that it's written, and I think there still is a little bit of that disconnect with certain moments that I'll read. And like there was one moment where I was like, I just read this entire paragraph that seemed like it was explaining something that didn't need to be explained, and it just felt like a paragraph that didn't need to be in the book. So there are a few moments like that, but I'm really invested in the story, and that's about all I have to say for right now. So I will see you guys probably when I finish the book, hopefully tomorrow. I am back to wrap up the vlog because I did finish the Lords of Salem last night, and I'm here to give you guys my update. I think for a rating, I'm gonna land on 3.5 stars because I did enjoy the story. The main issues, really the only issues that I had with it were the writing. It just wasn't, I don't know, was not my favorite, the writing itself, but I really enjoyed this story. I know I've told you guys what this is about. Obviously, like, it's about witchcraft, but we're also following Heidi as she is navigating like a lot of different things, like depression. She is a recovered drug addict, so she is constantly like feeling that itch to relapse, and we're reading that as well. Her just trying to get her life together, trying to stay clean, trying to stay sober, do the right things, but she's also plagued by this like demonic presence, and that makes it a little bit harder. It's kind of like hallucinatory at some points. There's a lot of dream sequences, nightmare sequences, which usually I'm not a big fan of in books, but I feel like it worked fine for me in this one. Not that I was obsessed with it, but I didn't hate it. But also having seen the movie and like kind of knowing more of like the themes and like what the story's about, I think definitely helped as far as the reading experience. There's also like an investigative element to it because not only do we have Heidi that is like firsthand dealing with these things, but we have a man on the side, a side character who has extensive knowledge of the history of Salem and the Salem witch trials and the families that were involved with that, and he is kind of digging more into that history and trying to piece together the clues as all of these strange things begin happening after the mysterious record by the Lords shows up. So he's trying to figure out what's happening, and it's kind of like a race against time. Like, can he figure out like what's going on and how Heidi is connected to it before Heidi falls victim to what is happening. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend this to like just anybody, but definitely like obviously if you're a fan of Rob Zombie, pick this one up. If you like things that have to do with the occult, satanic rituals and witchcraft, and you want a story that is focused on a female main character that is going through a lot of struggles in her life, then maybe this could be one that works for you, but just don't expect anything crazy from the writing, I would say. Overall, I did like it. I have not rewatched the movie yet. I probably will, but it just won't be in this vlog. As far as my bingo board though, I have checked off, I watched Rob Zombie's Halloween, and I'm halfway through Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, so that was my Halloween movie that I could check off on the bingo board. And then I'm going to cover up the square for the vampire, watch something with vampires in it, because just for the sake of this vlog, I want to upload this vlog, and although technically at this current moment that I'm filming this, I have not yet watched Salem's Lot, my watch along with Brooklyn and Brianna is tonight. So likely, like, if you're watching this as this video comes out, I will probably be watching Salem's Lot at the exact time that you're seeing this. So even though it's not in the vlog, it's still happening. I'm gonna check it off the bingo board so that I can have my almost completed bingo board in the video, although I have not carved a pumpkin and will not be doing that. But just to wrap things up, I'm just gonna throw that in here. So with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you are participating in the Haunted Library Bingo, let me know down below where you're at with your bingo process. We have a few days left to complete everything. Let me know if you think you're going to get a blackout or not. And with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.